To make his new assistant feel better, the man I'd known since childhood fired me. Ava, how could you? Liam's voice boomed across the open-plan office. You got Chloe drunk and left her all alone at that dinner, where a client nearly assaulted her. He stood there, his face a mask of righteous fury. I never thought you were so vicious. I am so disappointed in you. The irony was suffocating. The truth was that the new assistant, Chloe, had thrown herself at a potential client and been rejected. Now, she was playing the victim. And Liam, the man I had known for 15 years, chose to believe her, a woman who had worked here for less than 2 months, over me. In front of the entire company, he tore my reputation to shreds. Then he turned, his expression melting into one of gentle concern as he wrapped a protective arm around Chloe, who was nestled against his chest. Chloe, you landed that big account, he announced, his voice softening. Starting today, you're the new client manager. You'll be taking over all of Ava's duties. He then addressed the stunned office. Tonight, we're having a party to celebrate Chloe's success. The whole company is expected to be there. Instantly, my colleagues, like weather vanes spinning in a gale, turned to congratulate Chloe. Their fawning smiles and words of praise were a stark contrast to the suspicious glances they'd been throwing my way just moments before. I didn't offer a single word of defense. I simply turned and walked to my desk to pack my things. To hell with this childhood friendship. I was done. It was time to go home, inherit the family business, and marry the son of the city's richest man. I worked quickly, wanting only to escape the toxic atmosphere of the place I had helped build. I was about to grab the last item from my desk, a heavy fountain pen that had been a gift. Suddenly, a large hand clamped down on it, pressing it firmly to the desk. What are you doing? Liam stared down at me, his eyes cold. Are you really going to throw a tantrum just because I called you out on something you did wrong? He was still playing the part of the magnanimous boss. Stop being so childish. Go apologize to Chloe, and we can put this whole thing behind us. I was too exhausted to argue. Let go, I said, my voice dangerously low. No, he tightened his grip. You've been with this company for 3 years. Have I treated you poorly? Are you really going to just walk away over this? The audacity of that question almost made me laugh. If he hadn't brought it up, I might have left quietly. Now, I wanted to punch him. After graduating from a top university, I had a job lined up with a 7-figure salary. I turned it down. I did it because Liam had begged me, time and time again, to help him start his own company. I agreed because of the bond we shared, a friendship forged over 15 years. In the beginning, the company was nothing. We had no money, no clients, no reputation. I was the one who called my father, swallowing my pride, to secure the seed money that floated this company when it was nothing more than an idea and a rented desk. Over the years, I'd used my family's funds more than once to keep us from going under, always careful to do it quietly to protect Liam's fragile ego. And now, he was using my loyalty as a weapon against me. Seeing the accusation in his eyes, that I was the one being disloyal, was so absurd it was almost comical. Let's be clear, Mr. CEO, I said, my voice dripping with ice. 10 minutes ago, you publicly fired me. Since Chloe has already been given my job, what exactly would I be staying for? To be the new janitor? Or perhaps you'd like me to be the nanny for the children you'll eventually have with her? With a sharp tug, I yanked the pen from his grasp. Liam stumbled back a step, caught off guard by my force. Liam, are you okay? Chloe rushed to his side, clinging to his arm, her voice a syrupy sweet whisper. Please don't fight with Ava because of me. She turned her wide, innocent eyes on him. I was just about to tell you. Ava is so beautiful and capable, a graduate from a prestigious university. She's better than me in every way. It should be me who leaves, not her. She blinked, a single, perfect tear threatening to spill. Liam's expression hardened again. It was Ava who wronged you. Why on earth would I let you leave? What would that say about justice and fairness in this company? It would be a disservice to everyone else who works hard. A bitter laugh escaped my lips. He was worried about disheartening others, so he had no problem crushing my heart instead? This was the man I thought was my best friend. This was the partner I had fought alongside for 3 years. He was so completely blind, so easily manipulated by a low-level schemer. Our friendship was well and truly over. Ava, it's all my fault, Chloe said, dabbing at the corner of her eye where no tear existed. I shouldn't have told Liam that you made me drink. She sniffled pathetically. But I was just so scared that night. When I finally escaped from the hotel, I'd sprained my ankle. I didn't know anyone, so I had no choice but to call Liam. Her voice trailed off, thick with insinuation. Mr. Sterling is your longtime client. I assumed he was an honorable man. I never imagined he would do that to me. She let the sentence hang, deliberately ambiguous. Liam and the nearby colleagues who were eavesdropping shot me looks of disgust. The implication was clear, a client I had worked with for years had suddenly made a move on the new girl. It could only mean one of two things: either I had set Chloe up out of jealousy, or my own relationship with this client was built on sleeping with him. Her ability to twist the narrative was truly something to behold. If I hadn't witnessed the entire fiasco myself, I might have almost believed her. The truth of that night was simple. Mr. Sterling and I had successfully signed a major new contract within the first hour of dinner. Usually, at that point, we would make our excuses and leave, letting them continue their evening. But Chloe refused to go. She insisted on having more drinks, gushing about how much she admired Mr. Sterling's business acumen and wanted to learn from him. It didn't take long for me to understand. As I watched her practically drape herself over him like a cheap scarf, I saw her for what she was, a desperate social climber. What she didn't know was that Mr. Sterling was an old friend of my father's. He was a man of great integrity who had watched me grow up, and was famously devoted to his wife. Seeing Chloe's shameless behavior, Mr. Sterling's face had instantly darkened. He'd physically removed her from his arm and said in a voice cold enough to freeze fire, "Young lady, have some self-respect." He then shot a look at me. "Because you are Ava's associate, I will let this go. If you worked for any other company, I would sever all ties immediately." He had then stormed out, leaving a stunned Chloe behind. It was in her clumsy attempt to follow him that she had twisted her ankle. I'd had to run after Mr. Sterling to apologize profusely. Before he got in his car, he had sighed and said to me, "Ava, you've spent enough time toiling in this small venture. Don't forget that your parents are eager to hand their empire over to you. That partner of yours, Liam, is it? He's still far too immature. Be careful you don't waste your youth only to end up with nothing but resentment." At the time, his words had sent a jolt through me, but I dismissed them as an overreaction. When I returned to the private room, Chloe was still sitting there, crying. I tossed a couple of tissues on the table. "You should listen to what Mr. Sterling said. Some things can only be achieved through hard work. Shortcuts rarely lead anywhere good. Is your ankle okay? I can take you to a hospital." I reached out to help her up, but she slapped my hand away. "You're only lecturing me because you know that old man better than I do. What are you so proud of?" she sneered, her face a mess of tears and makeup. "Let me tell you something, most men in this world still prefer younger women." She shot me a hateful glare and ran off, leaving me utterly baffled. I had been trying to figure out how to gently break the news to Liam. After all, he'd hired her, saying she reminded him of me when I first graduated. I never imagined she would strike first with such a vicious, twisted lie. And that Liam would swallow it whole. Perhaps I shouldn't have been questioning his intelligence. I should have been questioning my own for ever deciding to go into business with him in the first place. "Ava, I don't want to make this uglier than it has to be," Liam said, staring at me intently. I laughed in his face. In the 15 years we'd known each other, we'd had countless arguments. I'd heard him say far worse things. And now he was trying to warn me? "Oh, since when did you become so intimidating?" I retorted. "Go on. Say something ugly. I dare you." Liam gritted his teeth. He knew my temper. My silence would have been a sign of real trouble, My yelling was just me being me. But Chloe, seeing that he wasn't escalating, immediately threw more fuel on the fire. Ava, please don't be angry. I admit it's all my fault. I don't want the manager position. I'll give it back to you, okay? She pouted, her face a picture of aggrieved innocence, before turning to Liam with concern. Liam, you shouldn't be angry either. You and Ava have been friends for so many years. We all know she only acts this way because you let her get away with it. Her words hung in the air, instantly souring the mood. Liam, who hadn't planned on getting angrier, now felt a fresh wave of irritation. Ava, have I been too nice to you? He snapped. Today, in front of the entire staff, all I did was stand up for Chloe and say a few things you didn't like, and now you're going to disrespect me like this? How am I supposed to lead my team if you act this way? The more he spoke, the angrier he got, finally slamming his palm down on the desk with a loud crack. The eavesdropping employees flinched. I just stared at the fool. You want respect? Who's giving me any respect? I asked, my voice dangerously calm. I suggest you use that brain of yours for a moment. If I hadn't been a part of this company from the beginning, would you even be standing here today, so self-righteously defending your manipulative little snake? Since I was leaving anyway, I might as well burn the whole bridge down. Who are you calling a snake? Liam's eyes darkened. If the shoe fits, I scoffed, tossing the pen into my box of belongings. I was about to lay out the entire truth of that night's dinner. But before I could, Chloe let out a loud sob. I'm sorry, Ava. I don't want to cry, but I just feel so wronged, she choked out between shuddering breaths. I never meant to be manipulative. If I did something to upset you, you could have just told me directly. But please, I'm begging you, don't ever leave me alone in a situation like that again. Her performance was flawless, a torrent of crocodile tears designed to remind everyone of her fabricated trauma. It was clear she was using this lie as a shield. Ava, apologize to Chloe. Right now, Liam commanded, his eyes practically shooting sparks. When I didn't move, he strode forward and grabbed the collar of my shirt. This is your last chance. Don't force me. Slap. The sound echoed in the sudden, deafening silence of the office. I had slapped him, hard, across the face. Liam, I said, my voice steady. We're done. What did you say? He seemed stunned, as if the physical blow had wiped the last few minutes from his memory. I looked at him, a man so deaf to reason he might as well have had wool stuffed in his ears. I picked up my box, deliberately knocking into him as I walked past. There was nothing left to say. If he loved his little snake so much, he could have her. I wouldn't even give him the satisfaction of hearing the truth, just so he could call me a liar. Let's see how long they last without me. Fine. We're done. Liam's furious shout followed me out. If you can throw away 15 years of friendship, then so can I. I knew he was saying it for my benefit, a final, pathetic attempt to hurt me. I didn't even break my stride. As I walked through the main office area, I heard the whispers. I knew she wasn't that good. She must have slept her way to the top. Too bad. She's pretty. I wouldn't have minded a piece of that. I stopped and turned, my gaze sweeping over the guilty faces. Who started that rumor? My voice was calm, but it cut through the murmuring. They exchanged nervous glances, but no one spoke. Just then, Chloe came hurrying after me. Ava, oh, I suppose I should just call you Ms. White now, she said, tilting her head up with a smug look. It's a big company. People talk. It's probably impossible to find the source of every little rumor. Her triumphant smile said it all. She was admitting it was her, confident that I had no proof. And don't you worry, she continued, examining her perfectly manicured nails. I'll take extra good care of all your former clients. I won't let your reputation be tarnished. I let out a cold laugh. Is that so? Well, you'd better hold on tight to them. It would be a shame to screw things up on your first day. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how long this place stays afloat without me. I gave her one last withering look and walked out of the company for good. That evening, after spending hours at home calming down, my best friend Maya called and dragged me out to dinner. We ended up at a chic downtown restaurant, and as fate would have it, I saw Liam and my former colleagues. They had a massive banner strung up, a warm congratulations to Chloe on becoming our new client manager. In the center of the crowd, Chloe was lapping up the attention, her smile a grotesque mixture of vanity and insincerity. The same employees who used to flatter me were now clinking glasses with her, their loyalty as cheap as the wine they were drinking. Maya, whose family and mine were old friends, recognized Liam immediately. "She's the client manager? Does that mean you got promoted to vice president?" she asked, confused. I shook my head. To make it easier for Liam to be the sole boss, and for me to have autonomy with clients, we had never created a VP position. I quickly recounted the day's events to Maya. Her face grew darker with every word. By the end, she was trembling with rage. "Is that Liam an idiot? Did he have a fever that cooked his brain?" she seethed, already starting to roll up her sleeves. "He begged you to help him start this company, and now he kicks you out for some cheap little tramp?" I grabbed her arm, stopping her. "Maya, don't. I have to go over there and set him straight. For someone with your background to agree to help him, it was the best luck his ancestors could have ever provided." She was still fuming, but she respected my wishes. Our families did a lot of business together, she knew exactly how much power my family wielded. She had always been a loyal friend, never revealing my true background to anyone. "It doesn't matter anymore," I said, shaking my head. "He'll pay for his own stupidity." But on the other side of the restaurant, Liam, now several drinks in, spotted me. He stumbled over, a drunken smirk on his face. Well. Look who it is," he slurred, draping a heavy arm over my shoulder. "I thought you were so tough. Couldn't even stay away for one night, could you? Had to follow us here." He leaned in, his breath reeking of alcohol. "Look, I know you can't let go of the company. Or of me," he said, his tone one of condescending pity. "But you made a huge scene today, and what you did to Chloe was out of line. I had to be firm with you, don't you see?" I shot him a look of pure disgust. "Get your filthy hand off me." He blinked. "All right, stop pretending. Why else would you be here? I even picked a new place for the party so you wouldn't find us." He chuckled. "I'll give you a way back. If you really want your job, go over there, in front of everyone, and give Chloe a sincere apology. Promise that you'll support her and help her with her clients. I'm sure no one would object." I almost laughed. "Who told you no one would object?" "I object." "Me, apologize to that snake? And then work for her? Was he insane?" Liam's face became serious. "I know your pride is hurt, but Chloe has a lot of good qualities. You could learn a thing or two from her." He kept droning on. "Was the slap I gave you this afternoon not enough?" I asked, my fist clenching. "Learn from Chloe? Learn what? How to throw myself at a man and then frame someone else when I get rejected." "Get lost," I warned him again. His jaw tightened. "Fine. Don't come crying to me when you regret this." Just then, Chloe appeared at his side. "Oh, my. Ava, what are you doing here?" she asked, covering her mouth in mock surprise. Her performance drew the attention of the others. "Shameless. She actually followed us here." "You were fired. Nothing you say will change that. Even if Chloe forgives you, we won't." "That's right. We're better off without you." The same people who had celebrated my victories were now attacking me to curry favor with my replacement. Chloe's face was a mask of smug satisfaction. "Ava, I hope we can part on good terms," she said, grabbing 2 glasses of wine from a nearby tray. "Here. Drink this with me, and from now on, you and our company have nothing to do with each other. We're all adults here. Let's be civil about this, shall we?" She held the glass out, her posture arrogant and condescending. "Me, part on good terms with her? Who the hell do you think you are, to be worthy of drinking with Ava?" Maya's voice cut through the noise like a whip. The entire area fell silent. A junior manager in some third-rate, insignificant company, and you're acting like you're royalty? Maya was far more direct than I ever was. Her temper was legendary, and seeing them bully me was the last straw. What did you say? Liam sputtered, his face turning red. Maya's words had insulted not only Chloe, but his entire company. I said you're third-rate, Maya said, crossing her arms and smiling coldly at him. You're third-rate, your company is third-rate, and your taste in people is as third-rate as that manipulative assistant of yours. Do I need to repeat myself? I could have kissed her. She was the perfect mouthpiece for my rage. Ava. You and your friend need to apologize to me and to Chloe right now. Liam yelled, practically jumping up and down. Oh, Liam, it's okay, Chloe purred, ever the master of passive aggression. Maybe Ava never really respected us in the first place. She's just using her friend to say what she really thinks. Who asked you to speak, you yapping mutt? Maya shot back, her words laced with venom. No wonder they call you a snake. You don't solve problems, you just start fires. How can a person live with so little shame? For the first time, Chloe's composure cracked. She had attacked me because she had Liam on her side and was gambling that our history would make me back down. But Maya didn't care about any of that. Her only loyalty was to me. What gives you the right to call us third-rate? Chloe demanded. Are you so special? She had clawed her way into my position, and now, at her own celebration party, she was being publicly humiliated. Liam slammed his hands on the table, demanding an explanation. Maya didn't waste words. She simply pulled out her phone and made a call. A moment later, the restaurant's general manager came rushing over. So you own a restaurant? Big deal, Liam scoffed. I added quietly from the side, what if she owns over 200 restaurants just like this one? Liam froze. Maya spoke to the manager, her voice calm and authoritative. Have these people removed. And inform headquarters that this man, Liam, and this woman, Chloe, are permanently banned from every single one of our establishments, effective immediately. The manager bowed and immediately summoned security, who politely escorted the entire party out. I could hear Liam shouting curses from the street, but the sound quickly faded. After that night, I went home to my parents and told them I was done playing around in a small venture. I always knew that Liam boy was unreliable, my father said, his expression stern. Several of your uncles told me he was impulsive and lacked the patience for steady, hard work. I pouted. I knew all that, but I never thought he could be so completely clueless. I know. I'll accept your arrangements from now on, I mumbled, looking at the floor. All of them? My father's eyes lit up. Does that mean you'll finally accept the engagement to Julian Gu? He asked eagerly. A huge reason I had left home in the first place was because I'd found out after graduation that my parents had arranged a marriage for me. My younger, more rebellious self would never have accepted such a thing. But after the last 3 years, the idea didn't seem so bad. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing, I finally answered. My father was so excited he immediately got on the phone with his old friend. My own mind, however, was racing with possibilities. What if this Julian guy was secretly in love with someone else? Or what if he wasn't even interested in women? I tried not to think about it too much. But my father hung up the phone and announced that the Gu family was coming over the next day to formally discuss the engagement. My heart sank. What if he was hideous? What if he was a total degenerate? It wasn't like I could just refuse on the spot. Being a rich girl was so exhausting. All my anxieties vanished the moment I saw Julian Gu. He had thick, dark hair, a handsome face with a hint of heroic intensity, and a tall, commanding presence. He spoke with an elegance and grace that perfectly matched my every fantasy of a powerful, respectable man. Uncle, Auntie, it's a pleasure to meet you. This is just a small token of my esteem, he said, presenting my parents with a set of jewelry worth a small fortune. My own gift was a stunning sapphire necklace featuring a pigeon's blood ruby. After some conversation, I learned that the Gu family had become the wealthiest in the city, a feat achieved under Julian's leadership. For the first time I felt a spark of genuine interest. A man who was both a powerful CEO and a genuinely hard worker? Did such people really exist? Our parents were thrilled with the match, but my father, true to his word, insisted the final decision was mine. The Gu family was completely understanding, giving me all the space and respect I could ask for. In the weeks that followed, Julian and I started talking, then going out to dinner and movies. He was meticulous about every detail of our dates, always prioritizing my comfort and happiness. His thoughtfulness was something I had never experienced before, so much so that it was almost unnerving. I found myself wondering what I had ever done to deserve the affection of someone so seemingly perfect. About a month after I'd left the company, Liam called me. "Ava, have you no shame?" he roared into the phone. I was completely bewildered. "Are you crazy? What are you talking about?" Being spoiled by Julian's kindness had given me a very low tolerance for Liam's abrasive nonsense. "You're the one who told Mr. Sterling to cancel our contract, aren't you?" "You're unbelievable," he shouted. "You get yourself back here right now and fix this. If you don't get that contract back, I'll see you in jail." I could practically picture his ugly, contorted face, and the thought was nauseating. "Go ask your dear Chloe to handle it. Don't bother me." I hung up and blocked his number. Just when I thought my life was finally peaceful, he showed up at my apartment, a sprawling penthouse I'd bought for a small fortune. But had told him I was renting to avoid making him feel insecure. How naive I had been to think he was capable of gratitude. Julian, who had insisted on walking me home, was with me. I'd invited him up for a glass of water. Liam, who must have been waiting in the hallway, shot up from the floor when the door opened. His eyes immediately fell on Julian. "Who is he?" he demanded. "None of your business," I said, pulling Julian inside. "What do you want?" He scoffed. "All right, stop the pity party. Go get the Sterling contract back, and I'll forgive you. I'll even give you your job back." I could only laugh. Did he really still think this was about a job title? "Try to see it from my perspective," he pleaded. "You did what you did to Chloe, and the whole company knew. If I wasn't hard on you, how could I manage my team? Enough time has passed. People will have forgotten about it by now. For the last time, if you're sick, go see a doctor," I said, waving him away dismissively. "Do whatever you want with your pathetic little company. You won't get another ounce of help from me." He didn't understand that I meant the secret clients and contracts I had been feeding him for years. He assumed I was talking about Mr. Sterling. "Ava, that's enough," he exploded. "I admit you brought a lot to this company in the early days, but do you think I was just sitting around? Doing nothing? The Sterling contract is critical right now. You need to go get it back, even if you have to sleep with him to do it." His eyes were red with desperation. I froze. I couldn't believe those words had come out of his mouth. "What did you just say? Sleep with him?" Liam gritted his teeth. "Chloe told me everything. She said that's how you got all your contracts, by sleeping with the bosses. Especially Mr. Sterling. You tried to give Chloe to him, and when that failed, you must have slept with him yourself to close the deal, right? He had abandoned all pretense of friendship. You've already slept with him once, what's one more time? The company needs this. If you get the contract back, I promise you." He never finished the sentence. A blur of motion beside me, and then the sickening thud of a fist meeting flesh. Julian had decked him. By the time I came back to my senses, tears were streaming down my face. More than a decade of friendship, the bond forged in a tiny 10-square-meter office. That grew into a team of nearly 100 people, all of it destroyed by Liam's own hands. I rushed to pull Julian back before he put Liam in the hospital. "If you ever say another word against Ava, I promise you what happens next will be much worse than this," Julian said, his voice dangerously low and cold. It was a side of him I had never seen. Liam scrambled away, shouting one last threat over his shoulder. "You'll both regret this." Regret? Not a chance. Especially not after a wild night with Julian left my body aching in the most pleasant way, a firm reminder that I had finally chosen the right man. The next morning, watching him expertly prepare breakfast in my kitchen, I smiled. Last night, I had asked him if he believed any of Liam's disgusting accusations. He had answered by telling me he loved me. The rest had followed naturally. We were officially a couple, and after meeting both sets of parents, everyone was overjoyed. Only Liam continued to be a problem, periodically calling from borrowed phones. Why are all my old clients pulling out? Are you sabotaging me behind my back? After all our years as friends, you just can't stand to see me succeed, can you? After the beating Julian gave him, I wasn't surprised he blamed me for everything. It didn't matter. As long as Julian believed in me, that was all I needed. I thought harassing phone calls were his limit. I was wrong. My phone number started appearing on lurid, explicit business cards scattered around the city. The calls were relentless, from morning until night, men asking for my rates if I took hotel bookings. Vicious posts about me appeared online. They repeated the lie about me sleeping my way to the top, but now they added a new chapter. After being fired, I had become a prostitute to support my lavish lifestyle, with the calling cards as proof. For a moment, I was a pariah. My social media accounts were flooded with hate mail and friend requests from vile strangers. This time I was truly furious. My main concern, however, was what Julian would think. Before I could even talk to him about it, he made a public announcement on his own social media, posting a photo of the two of us and confirming our relationship, adding that wedding bells were in the near future. He looked straight into the camera. Regarding the recent malicious rumors online, let me be clear. I will find every single person responsible for spreading these lies. Slander may seem to have no cost, but I hope you enjoy your newfound internet fame when you're sitting in a jail cell. Seeing the unwavering conviction on his face, I knew this was the man I would spend the rest of my life with. My parents were, of course, livid. They and Julian's parents launched a joint campaign on their corporate social media channels, publicly defending me, proudly and repeatedly referring to me as their beloved daughter-in-law. The rumors instantly collapsed. I was, after all, the daughter of one of the city's most respected families and the chosen fiancée of the new richest man. No one with a brain would believe I needed to sell my body. Our families combined their resources and quickly tracked down the source of the slander. They were paid online trolls. And though the person who paid them had tried to be careful, they were found. It was Chloe. When Liam found out, his first instinct wasn't to condemn her. It was to come to me and beg. Ava, I know you're powerful, but please, can't you just let this go? Chloe is just a young woman. She was probably just trying to stand up for me, he pleaded, his face a pathetic mask of desperation. His stupidity was so profound it was beyond anger. People have to face the consequences of their actions, I told him coldly. If this had happened to any other woman, someone without my resources, her life would be ruined right now, while your little snake would be walking around without a care in the world. Then, I had Julian give him a file containing some interesting photos. Take a good look at who you've been protecting, I said. Your precious Chloe slept with her drill instructor in high school, a professor in college, and her boss after graduation, right up until the boss's wife found out and she was forced to skip town and come work for you. This is the trash you treasured, and for her, you threw me away. Do you really think you don't deserve every bad thing that's happened to you? The file contained irrefutable proof of her past, including screenshots of her bragging about her conquests on old social media accounts. How could this be? Liam collapsed to the floor. He looked at me, and his face crumpled. Ava. I'm so sorry, he sobbed. I cut him off. Is that useful? No. It just makes me despise you even more. I waved a hand, dismissing him. I didn't want his apologies or his regrets. I could predict every word he was about to say. But I no longer cared about him, our friendship, or the way he had let that woman humiliate me. Liam opened his mouth, but no more words came out. He simply staggered away, a broken man. A few days later, I heard that Liam had filed for bankruptcy. Without me funneling him opportunities, what could he and a manipulative snake possibly achieve? All his major clients had been there because of my family's influence. Once I was gone, they fled. Over the next few weeks, I received several calls from former employees. They said Liam owed them back pay and asked if I knew where he was. A few even subtly asked if they could come work for me. Too bad. I was now happily retired, a housewife waiting for Julian to come home and dote on me. Work? I didn't need it.